it's a day when you wouldn't expect much offense, and there hasn't been much.
The big problem, of course, the Giants have used the 7 penalties that have been dropped on the Atlanta team and used them well. They used the block punt. They caused 2 fumbles, recovered 1. Those are football plays, too. And if you have to once in a while search for a way to steal a victory, the Falcons have done that themselves in the past, and they're blitzing a lot, and young Sims is going to be under a lot of pressure, and June Jones has pulled out some good games, and I think the second half will be really restful.
But, Tom, by the way, I noticed just now that Steve Bartkowski has come back, and that's encouraging news for Atlanta fans and for Steve. And the Falcons will receive the kickoff from Joe Danello, and it should be Bartkowski back at quarterback.
So the hip is okay. He got hit on one of those sacks, but he is back, and the big guy's raring to go.
Pearson back deep. Ball bounces along the ground, is fielded by one of the up men. I think it's Mayberry. Mayberry breaks a couple of tacklers, still on his feet. Out to the 35 where the Giants converge. Knock him down. Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshire at Giant Stadium. It's 10-0. Giants over Atlanta.
The Giants had 34 offensive plays, even though they didn't have much yardage, and Atlanta only got off 29. And the Falcon fans know that when you hold the ball 40 minutes against Tampa like they did a week ago, you've got to rush the football and keep it. And don't give it up.
1st and 10. Everything else is over in the NFL today except Denver and New England. And this one. We'll keep you up to date as to what's going on. Bubba Bean is going on right now. And maybe gets a couple. Dan Lloyd leads the pursuit. Halftime statistics.
There it is, rushing 51 yards for New York, 70 by Atlanta. Again, though, the ball control went to the Giants with their offensive plays of 34-29, and I'll tell you, we don't have it up there, but the penalties, 7 against Atlanta and 4 against the Giants, had a lot to do with it.
2nd and 8. 2 of those penalties helped to set up Danello's field goal. Giants touchdown came on a block kick as they flipped and Bartkowski throws. Alfred Jenkins, the intended receiver.
Terry Jackson came so close from the underside of that zone of intercepting that ball and going in for a touch. We mentioned that the long, deep sidelines, the ball travels a long way, and that time Bartkowski really flirted with danger.
There are those penalties you were talking about before. 1st down Atlanta at their own 49. They have not put points on the board as yet. Giants in that 3-man line defense, and Andrews. And the penalty marker goes down again. Andrews got about 4 or 5. This is probably going to be holding against Atlanta.
Been 2 of those already. Of course, if you're on the Atlanta team, it's the uncalled penalties they thought they deserved in the first half. But if you begin to worry about those things, you lose your concentration.
And your effectiveness.
Right.
Now Lepore.
Illegal use of the hands, number 5-7. Offense first.
All right, Jeff Van Note. He's been in the league 14 years. Mendenhall trying to reverse out. Van Note's using his hands, but he must let him get outside the line of his body. Pretty tough call.
Marginal. Andrews finds some room. Bangs away. Andrews out near midfield. He will deal out some punishment. Ray Oldham felt the jar. Then 9 yards for number 31.
He averaged 6.5 yards in the first half, and this is a perfect field for him. A little bit wet. He's strong as a bull. He's only about just under 6 feet. Watch this move. They said he's not a breakaway runner, but he is strong, and he can hit you when you least expect it.
He's one of those runners who seems to take very few blows to the body. Everything is taken by the arms and shoulders. Bartkowski had Francis. Had him open. Ray Oldham nearer than anybody else for the Giants. Bartkowski threw the ball well.
Looks to me like the Atlanta offense has sort of picked their tempo up. Good blocking that time. A lot of time for number 10 to set up. Here's Billy Rickman, who almost pulled the Monday night game out against Seattle with 2 great touchdown catches. He brought in the play from Lehman Bennett.
And Mitchell comes out. They'll operate on 3rd and 11 with 3 wide receivers. Rickman, Alfred Jenkins, Wallace Francis. Protection good. Pass is juggled and incomplete. Referees into the officials in a discussion.
Tried to catch it with his legs. It actually, watch Wallace Francis. Let's see how the blocking works out first. See what number 10 is going to have to contend with. Ooh, they buried Martin. Jeter made a late rush. Now the ball gets working around on his legs, and he tried to sneak it up into his belly, but didn't get away with it. Beasley Reese on the stop.
Deep, Steve Odom, number 84, just acquired this week from the Packers. And John James is number 6. Today's average with that wet ball about 10 yards less, and of course the block kick doesn't help any. High hanger. Up goes the fair catch. Single, fumble, and there's the scramble. Atlanta very quickly saying it belongs to us, and it does, it would appear.
Woo, what a break that is. Lehman Bennett didn't even react on the sideline. Did you see that quick shot we had? He didn't even react at all to it. Here's the play. A wet ball, heavy as heck maybe, even when they keep them working on it. And I think Mayberry, the rookie from Colorado, may have made the recovery.
He was the first man down, and he's down at the bottom of that pile.
McLean and he are both in there fighting for it.
It'll be a first down, Falcons at the Giant 19. The only touchdown came on a block punt. And that kicking game, as we said at the very beginning, very important part of this contest as Wallace Francis goes in motion and Bartkowski fakes the beam. And they go. Big man wide open, Andrews, and he just threw it a little bit too far. Andrews covered by Lloyd. They got the coverage they wanted. They couldn't get it to him.
And he was on the injured list for a couple of weeks. He missed the Oakland game and maybe the San Francisco game. And on a wet turf like this, maybe they're about half a step slower. Each quarterback has sort of overthrown open receivers.
It's that heavy ball, heavy wet ball, takes off a little bit more, too.
Boy, he was open, though, huh?
2 strides away from Lloyd, 2nd and 10. At the 19, and the crowd, less than a sellout, or it was a sellout, but less than a full stadium, starts to come to life, encouraging the Giant defense. 12:27 left to go, third quarter, as Andrews struggles to get back to the line of scrimmage. Strange call.
Great play by Martin. He's only weighing about 245, and we've talked about his great athletic ability, but he took the inside on the 34 and gambled, and actually beat Bryant in there and made a heck of a play. Brad Van Pelt helping them.
3rd and 10. Looked like they might have had some kind of stunt going because Mendenhall took off to his right. And Martin covered for him on the inside. Tried to and did. 3rd 11. Ball back at the 20. A loss of a yard. Bartkowski will throw. Inside the 10. That should be just barely enough for a first down. That's going to be close. And they mark it so it won't be enough for a first down. Alfred Jenkins caught the pass.
It's going to be a big decision here. All right, you're behind the Giant defense. There's Kelly, number 55, faking the blitz. They were in the 34. There's Jeter being handled. The sideline, not extremely well thrown, but right on target. With a wet ball, not bad. He was short of the line, all right.
I think they're going for it. Jim Mitchell up talking. Ray Rhodes made the tackle for the Giants. Mazzetti was loosening up. But Mazzetti does not appear.
The way he's been kicking, you may want to go for 7 and wait to worry about 3 later. Mazzetti has not been consistent.
It'll be 4th down, and the Falcons will attempt. Double tight end. Ketska on one side. Jim Mitchell on the other. And now they'll have to field goal because the left offensive tackle, number 78, jumped. They went on a long count.
Defense moved, but they're allowed to move if they didn't come over and make contact. You're right. Offensive line moved. Mike Ken, I believe.
Correct.
You're looking right down the line, and Ken just got out and could not get it back and hold it for a count.
False start. 7-8 offense. 4th down.
I would guess that's the direction in which they were going to run, and he was just trying to get a better start. Mazzetti with John James holding. 1 out of 5. This one will be from 34, and Massetti pops it good. Massetti was 11 of 21, but there's a flag down on the field. And wait a minute.
They're going to call the field goal good. The penalty is on the Giants, evidently. Looks like an unsportsmanlike. Let's see. May get a first down out of this. If Atlanta gets the choice and takes the first down, large indeed.
What if it's not a first down? It would make it 4th and 1 if it's only a 5-yard penalty. Do you leave the field goal up there, or do you try for the first?
Unsportsmanlike, catapulting by the defense. They were refusing the field goal to be their ball, 1st and 10.
All right, unsportsmanlike kind of catapulting. I've heard of taunting and all kinds of other dirty tricks, but I never heard of catapulting being against the rules.
That's really serious.
Well, it's Lloyd. Lloyd tried to catapult up over the top.
Said he was good.
But you can jump on the other players. You can't jump on your own players. I did not know catapulting was against the law.
Like number 54, defense.
That's Lloyd.
1st down.
Maybe it's okay if somebody else catapults you, but you can't catapult yourself.
Can't believe this call.
Catapult. 1st down, Atlanta. 1st and goal, but the Giants 7. Field goal goes off the board. And it's still 10-0 as Bubba Bean swings down to the 5. Brad Van Pelt tripped him up. Bean carefully protecting the football. Off goes his shoe, and he'll come out.
Watch number 70, Scott, pull over in front. The big fellow from Kansas. Carson was in on there, too, right in the wake of the pulling guard. One thing, when you get inside that 5-yard line, you better block number 53 because Carson is tough on short yardage.
They've had goal line stands in the last 3 games. Ray Strong is the deep back. Gronkowski rolls to his left. Looks. Down. Couldn't find anybody open. Ryan Kelly on the tackle. Gronkowski had a bruised hip, and he's limping again.
He hurt the hip again. He was trying to hit Mitchell, the tight end seldom thrown to anymore, but he did have a TD pass of 4 yards last week. Pretty good rollout. 31 Andrews is in there, but covered, picked up by Oldham, and Gronkowski did not run like he was really trying to make a lot of yardage.
Ball now back at the 6. 3rd and goal from the 6 with 10:09 left to play. Bubba Bean is back. And Gary Jeter, so often he does, asking for that crowd to help encourage, but Bartkowski and the Falcons have taken a timeout, and you can see he's obviously walking with shorter steps and limping as he goes over to talk to Lehman Bennett. 10-0 Giants. 3rd and goal from the 6 for Atlanta. Massetti hit a field goal. Giants were penalized. Atlanta had a first down. They got to the 5. And now they're back to the 6.
Atlanta hasn't scored many times on the ground, only 9 all year. He's going to throw it.
Juggled. Jackson from behind covering Wallace Preston. And Massetti will come back and try to do it again.
Boy, Jackson really put his hands up in a hurry. He looked like a pro wrestler. Here's a slant pattern. Ball is thrown, almost caught. Now watch Jackson make the play and then show you I didn't touch him. Honest.
Hard ball to catch on a day like today.
Jackson plays that pretty tough, too. He makes sure he goes through shoulder pads.
There are the 2 kickers, and look at Massetti. He's got on different shoes than he's put. Well, I guess that's obvious. They're different kinds. And he hit it again. That'll do a little for his confidence. He had to do it twice. So now, with just over 10 minutes left to play 3rd quarter, it's the Giants 10, Atlanta 3. The defense did its job. The Atlanta scoring drive culminated by Massetti's field goal.
Good defense by the Giants.
He rode him back deep. Massetti's kick is high and long. Back to the 2. Odom. And the Falcons converge on him just outside the 20. Wes McKeska.
And, you know, the Giants, even with the catapulting call, the unusual penalty, only gave up 3 points. That is really a large margin for them. That may have been the ball game for them. Big thing for their psyche, right? Even the offense will be picked up after that one.
They lead 10-3, and you can see the first appearance by Phil Simms in the offensive unit. The second half is a very enthusiastic one. Rain continues. Billy Taylor and Johnson are the running backs. And this will be Billy Taylor. Hit hard by that swarming Atlanta defense. Jeff Yates led the charge. Good pursuit.
And they come from all the different angles. When Simms awakens tomorrow morning, he will have seen more crazy defenses in one Sunday than he's probably seen in the other 5 games that he's been involved in so far as a quarterback. Good play by Yates, who simply just would not be handled.
Here is Simms, and the blitz comes after him. Hands of Dwight Scale. They couldn't find a handle. Simms was hurried. Denver 38. New England 7. Third quarter. That's the only game beside this one still in progress.
Looks like the rain has let up a little bit. Might be getting a little cooler and get that glazed feeling on your hands. A little stickum will fix that up.
Tell me there's so much snow on the field in Denver that you cannot distinguish the yard marker. Here's Bill Simms with Scale starting back in motion, and Simms going straight back. This time there is no blitz. Simms. Kirk opening, and it dropped it. Couldn't find the handle. Frank Reed came over, but Simms had him in open and had the ball to it.
And, of course, it's his former Morehead State alumnus, right? When Gary Shirk left Morehead State, that's when young Simms was just coming on the scene. This ball is delivered right on the money. Shirk just brought it into the ground. Reed was right on defense.
Dave Jennings blowing on his hands, trying to keep them warm and dry. Dennis Pearson back deep. Jennings with a knuckler, but good distance nevertheless. Pearson found a handle and now is looking for room. Fumble, and the Giants have it back.
Brian Kelly, I believe, under that. He and Lloyd.
There's number 55. And the Giants get the break right back. Here's Kelly.
A pretty good kick. It wasn't a classic spiral, but it was drilled. Good foot into this. And here is the NFC's leading punt returner, coughing the ball up. Wow.
And Kelly on the recovery, yes. On the right side of your picture, circled.
And he walked off under his own powers, but this is what happened to him. He got knocked into that gnarly pile of players. Prydemore's in there.
Prydemoore has taken his place, and Prydemoore is playing with an injured knee. Tim's going right to work. Has time. Throws. Here comes the flag.
On Rick Bias.
The official had a tough time getting out of the back of his pants, but he was right there looking at it.
Pretty wet handkerchief here. It's a deep post pattern. A late blitz fly. Atlanta did not get there. Again, you put such tough man-to-man coverage, and Bias just came through the back of Ernie Gray. A close call, but I think he made some contact.
They did make contact, no question about it. It'll be first and goal at the 1 for the Giants. 38-10. John Smith finally kicked the field goal for New England. Grogan was hurt, had to leave. Backup quarterback Owen also hurt, had to leave, and Grogan came back. Taylor, one of the running backs, and the other is Johnson, and that's Billy Taylor. Flag again.
Now Coach Perkins wants to know what the yellow flag's all about. Like it might be on Atlanta. Let's see what happens. Somebody line up offside, perhaps? Oh, it happened after the snap against Atlanta. Itty-bitty steps down there.
Not many yards, but a very valuable down save.
Offside, defensive line, first down.
The whole line lined up offside.
Still first and goal. Inside the one third quarter. 10-3 Giants.
The fifth touchdown for number 38. Pretty unselfish ball club, the Giants, but in close, he is tough. Let's see who gets the lead block for him.
Johnson.
Johnson in front. Oh, I'll tell you, Atlanta didn't give him much room either. If he hadn't gone up, he wouldn't have scored.
You'll excuse the expression, catapulted himself into the end zone.
Right.
Randy Dean will hold. Joe Danilo will try to make it 17-3. And is successful in doing so. Randy Dean congratulates. And now, with 8:40 left third quarter, the Giants move ahead by the score of 17-3. Not a time left, however. The Giants scoring drive helped out by that pass interference penalty. Billy Taylor's touchdown. And we have a new return man in for Atlanta, Alfred Jackson. That's the 2. Looking for some place to go, number 51, Frank Marion. The tackler tonight on CBS. Start your evening with a brand new edition of 60 Minutes.
And then, of course, a lot of fun at Archie's place. Kind of place we should see on the road, I guess.
Well, I think probably we have. More great comedy on One Day at a Time, followed by Alice and the Jeffersons. And then Trapper John, MD, all on CBS tonight. Has a pass completed to Bubba Bean and flung back after about a 6-yard pickup. Brad Van Pelt.
No apologies meant, but the penalties are. And, of course, sometimes a team that's being handled gets themselves into a penalty situation. Atlanta has had 11 penalties for 102 yards. The Giants 5 for 33 yards. You start fighting the system, sometime you lose sight of your objective.
2nd and 3 situation for the Falcons. They trailed 17-3 in the third quarter. Giants take a blitz. Andrews runs right into Brian Kelly first. Couple.
Atlanta now is feeling some pressure because that Western Division has been sort of up for a jump ball the entire season. And the Giants, even though they haven't been talking or thinking about playoff, they almost beat the team that went to the Super Bowl. They've got a lot going for them.
And they've got a schedule left that includes Dallas again. They can make up some ground on their own. They're through with Philadelphia. But they play Washington still. Pass knocked down. Intended for Andrews. Brad Van Pelt on the coverage, and the rain continues to pelt down. Here is Bartkowski.
I didn't check Van Pelt's ribs out. I usually do that to most of the linebackers, but does he have the flak jacket on today? This is a good defensive play by the linebacker.
I think he's got a rain jacket on today.
Number 2 draft choice out of Michigan State, where he was a pretty good safety man. Good enough to be All-American.
Lehman Bennett, the Atlanta coach, watching his team in trouble. 17-3 behind. Penalized very heavily. Good snap to James. And James doesn't catch it. Steve Odom up with a fair catch. They don't juggle it at the 41, but put it away finally. 29 yards all on that kick from James.
Fumbling's like a rash. If you see other people doing it, everybody tightens up just a bit. I mean, coaches drop clipboards. The whole team can get caught up in it.
Trainers drop the Band-Aid tape.
None Sims just seems to whistle his little lullaby, doesn't he? Look, here it is. Big leagues.
Makes things happen. Down Giants at their own 41. Johnson and Taylor. Two setbacks as Robinson comes in motion. Here is Johnson. Hit by Fulton Kuykendall first.
When the Giants early in the year didn't have number 63 as their left guard, they were really in trouble. Of course, Bill Austin has gotten this great old veteran 63 in there, and he's a great cut blocker, very strong. I think he played in the World Football League and was waived by a couple of teams. He's come a long way to be a great starting left guard for the Giants.
Giants up over the ball. It'll be 2nd and 6. 6:28 now left third quarter as Billy Taylor swings out in motion, and Sims fires out to Ken Johnson. It was a forward pass, not a lateral, but Johnson was taking no chances.
Atlanta defense now will gamble even more, looking for the fumble, looking for the INT, and of course the more you gamble, if you get caught, you can get burned.
Really haven't talked too much about the size of the Atlanta cornerbacks. Both of them are, as cornerbacks go, rather small.
5'9" and 5'10". Bias is 5'9", and Roland Lawrence, who's a great player, is only 5'10".
Right now, Robinson is one of the wide receivers, and he's not. Robinson, the intended receiver, and Roland Lawrence, the defender.
Roland Lawrence had him covered. Now Lawrence, number 22, is one of 14 children, 10 boys and 4 daughters. So you've got to be quick around a house like that. When they throw the pork chops out, you got to go for it.
You've got to be able to run. Dave Jennings, Giants go on a quick count, but it's disallowed as Jennings tosses the ball to Ray Strong, who tosses it right back to him. He's 2 for 2, by the way, throwing.
What's he got on? Long underwear under that? It looks to me like that would get soggy.
I guess as much rain as there's been and not much activity for the punter. Maybe that's his regular shirt. He's going to leave. That kick fails to Billy Rickman this time, who signals for a fair catch at the 20. Dennis Pearson had trouble holding on to the football. That punt was 35 yards, and he's been replaced some of the times by Jackson, sometimes this time by Rickman. Jennings over on the sideline. Next week, the Cowboys and the Redskins in their annual shootout in Washington. Green Bay, Buffalo, St. Louis, Philadelphia. Important games for everybody. Detroit, Minnesota, New Orleans, Seattle, and these Giants down in Tampa. Buccaneers pull one out late today. Bartkowski to Bean. About 8.
Keep in mind that the best Falcons scoring period, Patrick, all year long has been the fourth quarter. And there's one thing that Leland Bennett's team is, they're in excellent condition.
Brad Van Pelt is number 10. His ribs are better. He is not wearing the flak jacket today.
Oh.
2nd and 3, and Andrews gets the call. A cut back inside. Andrews knocked down outside the 30. A Falcon first down by Van Pelt.
Ball carried in by Andrews.
Brad Van Pelt takes the inside, being cut off there by Mitchell. Yeah, he's really throwing himself around today. You can tell the ribs are, looks like, well again.
They must be well if that didn't hurt him again. And Mitchell fell on top of him. It is an Atlanta first down. Clock running at just over 5 minutes left third quarter. Falcons at their own 31. Andrews into the secondary, and Andrews to midfield. Again, he just waited for Mendenhall to commit. They cut off Jeter, and he picked it.
And Martin takes the inside, number 75. Here's the cool, wait just a second attitude, a good stutter step. You know what I like about Andrews is once he gets hemmed in, he doesn't slow up or anything. He just keeps throwing those big legs up and down.
They got 19 that time. He's averaging over 7 yards a carry. Fired outside at 15. Beasley Reese, the tackler on Bubba Bean, who was lined up way out there.
time if your offensive playbook has something that might get a mismatch, you better use it. Falcons have had those 3-game losing streaks, 2 of them this year, and they're really sort of an in-and-out type team. When they're good, they can play with anybody, and when they're not, they can get blown out.
Their 2nd and 6 is Francis. And Jenkins are the wide receivers. Handoff is to Bean, and Bean punts it down to about the 42, stopped by Jeter. Number 70 for the Giants.
They lost Lynn Kane, the young rookie back from SC. Recall the day that John Madden was with us in the Oakland game and said that Kane looked like he had arrived, and he certainly had. Now he's got knee ligaments, and he's been cut on.
Bubba Bean got the start because of that unfortunate happening to Lynn Kane. Ray Strong is the deep back of the eye now. Double tight ends and Strong will have the Atlanta first down. Harry Carson made the initial hit on Strong, but the Falcons have put together so far their best looking drive of the day.
Good strong run by Strong. Put his head down, only one was the first down. Bartkowski is 8 of 16 for 83 yards. That early interception hasn't bothered him. Looks like he's able to put the ball on the money. They haven't caught a couple of them.
First down at the Giants 38. Falcons on the move, on the ground for the most part. Andrews hit by Kelly and Lloyd after a couple.
Blocking by Atlanta on Mendenhall has slowed down the nose man a little bit. Against Dallas, I thought number 64 played as good a football game as is possible to play.
He and Martin both.
Just great.
Of course, that's a good veteran center in front of him, in the person of Jeff Van Note.
And 2 offensive guards in Thielman and, of course, Stockton, 260 apiece.
2nd and 8, Bartkowski drops. He has time. He throws. Intended for Alfred Jenkins. Jenkins dived to the sideline. Hit the ball, but he couldn't hang on. Ray Rhodes, the nearest Giant defender. Haven't seen Mazzetti warming up yet.
Bartkowski is called a floater as a quarterback in the pocket. He doesn't sprint around like a Starbuck or a Bradshaw or a Sims can, but he sort of floats, and he's become much better at moving around blockers than he used to be.
Jim Mitchell is out. Billy Rickman is in. On 3rd down at the 36. Bartkowski doubtless will throw. Pocket holds up. The pass is deflected by Brad Van Pelt and incomplete. It'll be John James and not Mazzetti. Wallace Francis, the intended receiver.
Van Pelt, of course, is 6 foot 5 inches tall, number 10. Pretty good setup here. The twist didn't fool him. Good blocking. Steps up. Excellent play by the linebacker. Alertness. Good defensive play.
Deep is Steve Odom for the Giants, counting the players up in front of him. Ray Oldham was the defender on that last play. So it's a deflection by Van Pelt. John James back. It would appear they're going to try something unusual. I don't know exactly what. What is going on?
Going to try to kick it down inside the 5-yard line and get somebody to fall on it, I think.
Long count. Long count for Atlanta. Number 58, Joel Williams, lined up way on the left side and then finally wound up behind the punter, going in the other direction.
Looks like the Canadian League. But actually, the 5 yards, if they assess a penalty, did they penalize them? Or they just...
Well, they haven't yet.
Delay a game, offense, penalty is declined, 4th down.
Penalty was declined. Like to cut down the angle for John James. 3 players over here on the left, and then Williams comes back behind John James. And James will angle this one high. Knuckler, Odom signaled to the fair catch and lost it. And the Falcons are claiming they got it. They do have it. Dewey McClain out of the pack with the football, number 52.
Pretty good hustling strategy, and the 5-yard penalty did not bother especially since James floated it very high. He's fighting it as he goes to the ground. Well, the Falcons don't give him a chance to recover, do they? Once they see that ball belched up, everybody goes for it.
There it is loose, and Julie McClain comes up with it. At the 13, the Falcons with a chance to do some business. Giants defense back on the field, and Bartkowski hits the beam. Not much. Down to about the 10. Van Pelt again led the tackler.
Boy, number 75, Martin, has really played 3 or 4 games this year that are incredible. He forces the blocker back into the play, and watch to the left of your screen. Bubba Bean has to jump over the blocker and company to even get into the action. Point of attack was destroyed by Martin.
A minute, 20 seconds left to play third quarter. Atlanta with the Giant 11, trailing 17-3. Second down, 8 they need. Bartkowski looking. With all kinds of time throws. And the ball was intended for Wallace Francis. Harry Jackson yarded loose.
You really have to be a second story man to play corner and play in the secondary in the end zone. Earlier, Jackson made a good play as contact was made with the ball. Watch this play. Just as Bartkowski thinks he might have a touch, Terry hits him, and simultaneously he knocks the ball away. That's a good defensive play. You've got to have a gambler's heart to get away with that.
And Jackson with another good defensive play. Third down. The Giants again stiffen near their own goal line. 3rd and 8 from the 11. Bartkowski trying to set up the screen. Goes down. The sack led by Martin and Jeter. Number 75, George Martin. Number 70, Jeter.
They're trying to drop the ball to number 31, Andrews. But I think Brian Kelly grabs the back and holds on to it. Or Mendenhall does. Mendenhall throws him down, and Bartkowski had to eat it. Watch the play now. Good play by number 64. He knew the 31 somehow was involved.
Here is Mazzetti with John James holding. It'll be a 35-yard effort. Bartkowski's now been sacked 5 times, and Mazzetti misses. Wide to the left. No good.
And the young former bartender from the University of Pennsylvania just hooks it to the left of the barn. Oh!
His reaction comes as no surprise. He's had a tough year. The Giants take over at the 20. 44 seconds left in the third quarter. Doug Coder and Ken Johnson the setbacks. Field swings in motion, and Coder gets the carry. And Doug struggles for 4 or 5.
2 great defensive series by the Giants, though, back-to-back.
58 on that last tackle.
Atlanta's been down there knocking, and all they've got is the 1 field goal on the board. That's some work.
The penalties, again, a part of the story of this game. Phil Simms trying to keep warm. 2nd and 6. Clock running with 14 seconds left third quarter. It looks like they're just going to let it run out. Simms strolling toward the line of scrimmage, and will also stroll toward the sideline. They let it go. At the end of the third quarter with the score. Giants 17, Atlanta 3. We now pause for word from your local station. Phil Simms surveying the situation. Pat Summerall here at Giant Stadium with Tom Brookshire.
Every team that comes into New York or wants to play this young man, they said, yeah, he's a great-looking one on film, but he's still a rookie. But he is fast becoming a very composed, veteran-looking quarterback. With days when his throwing's not going well, he's very content to go ahead and call the running plays or use whatever's available.
One more quarter to go. 2nd and 6 at their own 24 for the Giants. Some sort of a holdup here for some reason. Lehman Bennett with the cap on, strolling around, watching his team down 17-3. Played the Giants last year when they came from behind to win it 23-20.
Atlanta's going to start tackling the football a lot, and don't think that's an accident anymore. Teams work on it all week. Tackle the ball, come up with it. One guy hit the ball carrier, stand him up, and the other guys go and rip the arms and wrists.
Discussion going on here between the umpire, the referee Cal Lepore, and Lehman Bennett about something. They look friendly enough, don't they?
I'd like to hear what they're really saying.
For the coaches, everything's in order. Thank you first.
Everything's in order, he said. I'm glad to know that. But the Falcons don't think so. 2nd and 6. 17-3. Ernest Gray split wide to the left out of your picture, and Sims gives inside to Coder. And thought for a second the ball might have bounced loose, but it didn't. Kuykendall hit Coder. Tripped him up.
That offensive line under Bill Austin for the Giants has, I don't know how they're doing it, but Jim Clack, of course, obtained for the Pittsburgh Steelers, is one of the few guys in the offensive line of scrimmage you feel probably is a draftable player. Look at him turn Famuina around, or Edgar Fields, that is. Good move by the offensive center.
It'll be 3rd and 4. Fields is right in front of Clack now. Motion Scales. The blitz on, the Giants complete it. That'll be enough for a first to Dwight Scales, and he hung on. Only the 4th completion of the day for Phil Sims.
You know when to hold him, when to fold him. Watch Sims read this blitz and know that now he has an open man. He sees the blitz coming from the right side of his offensive line. He just goes on the other leg and drops it in there very safely, but a good throw.
Roland Lawrence, the tackler.
There it is from another view from behind the secondary. Again, when the blitz is on, your safety men and cornerbacks are solo coverage.
Down to the 32, and Sims stops again. This time there is no blitz. And the pass is incomplete. Intended for Scales. Number 88. Looks like he might have been stunned a little bit by the hit from Tom Pridemore.
I'll tell you, Monday, if Atlanta should lose this game, they're going to be mad. After 3 quarters, Atlanta has had the ball in the 3rd quarter. Of course, they did have it down there a lot more than New York did. New York only has 86 yards total offense after 3 quarters. Atlanta has 184 with 117 rushing, yet they trail 17-3.
By the way, that delay that we had just a few minutes earlier was because the Atlanta coach's phones were not functioning properly. We had that same problem. Another Giant first down on the draw play, stopped by Pridemore and Kuykendall.
Looks like J.T. Turner and Neville must have gotten a good block on the right side. What's the left part of your screen? Here's they set up the block. Gates gets caught inside, cut off by Neville. Coder's never going to go 100 yards against anybody, but he's a pretty safe, dependable running back, isn't he?
He's carried 12 times for 50 yards today. And another Giant first down and some breathing room. Coder shifts around in the backfield now, and Robinson goes in motion. The blitz. Sims gets away from it. Gary Shirk to the 35. And out of bounds to the far side of the field by Pridemore. Inside the 30 to the 25.
Young Sims that time really makes a move in the pocket against the blitz. I know number 11 wasn't supposed to be a number 1. And he's not supposed to have had all the sophistication of the Big 8 or the Big 10 as his prepping position, but he really handles the rush very well. He dumps it to his tight end. And again, when you blitz a lot, you do get into trouble on solo coverage.
Great thing about Sims is when you face a lot of blitzes, you're inclined to get a little rattled. But he's been very calm. Jackson again in motion. He's going right to work again. Does to Robinson. He hung on. Roland Lawrence with the hit. And Willis had to wait and see.
Simultaneous catch goes to the offense. If the two have it together.
They don't want to give it up. Robinson made the catch.
The short slant pattern, when you're 165 or 70 pounds, you stick it in there, you're tough. He and Lawrence had it together, and the tie does go to the offensive player. When you play defense, that's not the way you'd like to see it either.
2nd and 1. 9-yard gain, 12:05 left to play. And the Giants on the move with their best offensive effort of the afternoon. Fumble! Atlanta. Jeff Yates on the recovery. A vicious hit knocked it loose.
Who makes the tackle? Let's see if we can pick it up. It's Brazina. Hit Johnson right where the ball was being held and separated him from it. And those Falcons will not quit, huh?
Still 17-3, but more to come. They'd only fumbled 5 times all year.
The whole season.
A wet day will do that to you. Going right to work. Hopefully. He finds Andrews, and Andrews starts to run before he has it.
This game could be a long way from over.
Still 11:48 left to play. It's ball of down on the 16-yard line of Atlanta. They got a long way to go. They trail 17-3.
Markowski is only 8 of 20, but he has Francis and Jenkins and young Jackson. He has a lot of speed on the outside, and sometimes they don't get it going until the 4th period.
We've seen it happen so many times. The Atlanta Falcons have Andrews and Bean as their running back. Markowski the quarterback. Like an audible, a change at the line of scrimmage is taking a long time and took too much time. They have to take a timeout. Atlanta will only have 1 timeout remaining now. They could well use that at the end of this contest if they come from behind. Billy Rickman into the lineup for Atlanta. Mitchell is out. 2nd down, 10 for the Falcons and Steve Bartkowski. They just used a timeout. They have only 1 left. Straight back. Francis. I beg your pardon. That's Jenkins, number 84. The receiver. Terry Jackson, the tackler.
Bringing in 4 good receivers now, and Andrews is the only remaining back. The quick slants. Notice the big split between tackles and guards. And here's the throw right on. Remember, this team averages 20 points a game average. That's the Atlanta average. And the Giants have held them to 3 here into this 4th period.
George Martin takes down Bubba Bean. Played off the blocker nicely. Bean got a couple.
Defense has really been something since the Giants went to the 34. And the thing that amazes me about Perkins' staff, they've gotten so much information to this team in such a short time.
Ralph Hawkins is the defensive coordinator, and actually he prefers the 4-3. They went to this 3-down lineman situation because they had to. Injuries decimated the front. Almost picked off by Ray Rhodes, intended for Wallace Francis, number 89.
Rhodes says the difference between offense, which he's played, and defense, which he's now playing, is that you've got to be aggressive, but you've got to be loose at the same time. That's to play defense. Look at this try by number 22. And, of course, he knows all the moves that an offensive receiver could give, as he used to do that.
It'll be 3rd and 8. Alfred Jackson now checks in for Atlanta. 10.5 minutes left to play. Giants 17. Atlanta 3. Bartkowski. In the hands of Alfred Jenkins, but he can't hold on.
fastest receiver on the field, Alfred Dickens, but it doesn't count much if you don't have the ball.
Ball, of course, no matter how dry they try to keep it, it's got to be wet. Robinson now goes back deep for the Giants. Steve Odom has had problems hanging on. And Jimmy Robinson, his first trip back, will handle his kick from James, which is a good one. Robinson stays down.
By Robinson.
34-yard kick from John James, and the Giants continue to lead the Atlanta Falcons 17-3 in the fourth quarter. The Giants give the ball to Doug Coder, and Doug Coder struggles with a group of Atlanta linebackers led by Robert Cunnywell.
It's going to be a crazy defensive series now. It's steal the ball time and try to steal the game, or the Falcons are done.
10 minutes now left to play, and the Giants content, particularly on a day like this, to just try to run it out. John James with the glove on the foot.
Where'd all the people come from? There weren't many people here, and then they went and got the rain gear on, and now there's a pretty good stadium full of people here.
2nd and 9, a 1-yard gain for Doug Coder. Don't imagine Sims will throw it too much now, although he's only got one setback, and he will. He does. Jerry Shirt hit by Pridemore. And number 22, Roland Lawrence on the defense.
That's when you know it's man-to-man coverage, when you see that safety man slip right through on the tight end and make the tackle.
The Eastern Division of the NFC has Dallas on top. They play Philadelphia tomorrow night. Washington won today. They're 7-4. Philadelphia 6-4. The Giants, if they can hang on to this, would be 5-6, and not at all out of the playoff picture. In the Central, Tampa Bay came back right at the end to win today, and their record is 7-4. Chicago is 6-5. Flip. Robinson down in the grasp of Lawrence. Sims really took a shot just as he let it go.
He looked that blitz. He looked that dog right in the eye and still completed his pass. Sims did a heck of a job on that.
And out west, the division that concerns Atlanta, of course. New Orleans with a victory today over San Francisco goes to 6-5. The Bears beat Los Angeles, so they're 5-6. Atlanta 4-6. And for San Francisco.
And in each conference, there will be 2 wild card teams and a division champion from each division.
We'll check on the AFC situation after this measurement, which leaves them short. New England 7-3, although they're having great difficulty today. Miami 7-4. The Jets 5-6, lost to Buffalo today. And Baltimore 4-7. Miami, by the way, shut out Baltimore. In the Central, Pittsburgh, powerful Pittsburgh on top, 7-2. Houston 8-3, hanging in there. Cleveland lost today to Seattle. They're 7-4, and that's out west. Denver is beating New England right now with 12:08 left to play, 45-10. There is Dave Jennings. Billy Rickman back deep for Atlanta. The Giants taking a long time. Didn't try to block it. Jennings spirals. Rickman. And a flag goes down as Dewey McQuain collided with Dave Jennings, and the Giants will have an automatic first down.
McLean did everything in the world except running into him, and that's what he did. The late rush to try to block it. Watch him now. He's right on the left, right center of your screen. Now Dewey goes up. He's not even close, and he can't keep from hitting Jennings' leg.
Can't touch him.
Especially a kicker.
Really nothing he can do about it.
Did they ever come after you when you were kicking any of the other teams?
Yes, the Eagles.
52, defense, the first
Your
down.
team.
Obviously, we didn't do a very good job.
Well, I don't know about that either. Bill Sims back into the game with a Giant offensive unit.
The 12th penalty against Atlanta.
First down, Giants at their own 47. 8:11 left to play. And this contest in Coder struggles up the middle for not much. Miserable day.
By Coder.
It is really amazing if you look around the stadium how many people did show up today.
Second ball.
The kicker back at work.
They didn't have those aids when we were playing, did they?
Didn't have anything.
Lucky to have shoes. You see that we look around the stadium, number of people still here. With 7.5 minutes left to play, the Giants leading 17-3. Blitz, but Robinson makes the reception from Sims.
Sims is shortening up those patterns so that he can anticipate the blitz, unload it safely, and sort of keep the ball. And the ball control is very important right now.
Rylan Lawrence on the tackle. Greg Brzezina again in one of his many discussions he's had all afternoon with the officiating crew.
Robinson will come from the left part of your screen, just sliding under. Here's the late rush. You can see Brzezina getting the delay, and the dog was by the safety man. Lawrence still in, hitting hard.
3rd and 3. The Falcons' 46-yard line as Coder swings out in motion, and again the blitz shows. Robinson made the catch, I believe. Looking around. Rylan Lawrence on the coverage. Robinson, yes, he did make the catch. A remarkable one in a situation like this.
The little man with those soft hands. He's not the fastest, but he runs a good pattern. And I'm telling you, he is fearless. Makes a sliding, spinning, wet catch and looks around to see if anybody's touched him down. They did right after this shot. It came moving again.
Number 50. The veteran Falcon linebacker, Greg Brzezina. Quite a man. Very, very religious. And a great leader. Sims for Gray. Tangled up with Rick Bias, who was back there with him. Sims threw that ball a long way.
And it was a very good spiral. That time the secondary man might have gotten the benefit of the doubt. He got tangled up a little bit with Gray, who made a heck of a catch. And watch this young man just throw the wet ball, or the recently dried off ball. Excellent throw.
Ernest Gray trying to get back inside, couldn't get around Bias. And it'll be 2nd down and 10 at the Atlanta 35. Rain continues. The book on Sims for today. Not a good day to throw. What's coming? A draw play? Oh, the pass. Shirt. Ball goes loose and out of bounds, but he was the last man with possession. Tom Pridemore hit him hard. It'll still be Giant ball.
One of the big problems with the Giants winning again is getting enough equipment. Eddie Croak, the PR man, was telling us that after the Tampa Bay victory that Harry Carson stood up and they said the whole team should get a game ball, and even the coaching staff. So for a couple of weeks they were out of footballs. They gave 55 balls out.
Billy Taylor, who had 138 yards that day. I believe that's the correct figure.
Right.
He got 2.
2 of them.
Ball on the 35.
He apologized to Tampa Bay. We gave it a 7-4, but they did pull out the victory today over Detroit, and it's 8-3. And they remain 2 games ahead of Chicago. Here comes the blitz again. Here is Kirk again, and he'll go in. Phil Sims, 35-yard touchdown pass to his tight end, Gary Shirk. And that's what happens when you live by the blitz.
The 9th touchdown pass, number 9 for young Sims. Morehead State to Morehead State. Well, I'll tell you, the Giants are a together team. Here comes Brzezina and the wild Falcon blitz. Sims doesn't see the touch, but he can tell by the crowd roar that it's good.
Yeah. Well, it's right there, isn't it? Randy Dean will hold, and Joe Danello will try to make it 24-3. And Danello kicks it all the way over the net behind the goalpost and into the stand. They might be out of footballs again if he keeps kicking like that. 24-3. Giants over and celebrating what would appear to be a victory. Alfred Jackson is number 85, waiting for Joe Danello's kickoff. Raining harder, if anything, now. Ball bounces away into and out of the end zone. Picked up by Jackson.
You want to have some scary thoughts. Think about the last 4 seconds of last week's game when it had been 6 out of the last 6, perhaps. The Giants had quite a streak going.
Monday night on CBS. Ken Howard stars in the White Shadow, followed by MASH, WKRP in Cincinnati, and Ed Asner's Lou Grant tomorrow.
WKRP, that's with Lonnie Anderson. Is that?
Yes, as a matter of fact, you're right again.
Keep bringing that up every Sunday, don't I?
No. And I'm glad. Kicked off. Dan Lloyd. The interception by the Giant linebacker, who's had a fumble recovery, a block kick, and now an interception.
His first interception of the year. Here's a guy from Washington that just made the team, special team, until they went to the 34 defense. Step right in front. Intended receiver was Bubba Bean, swinging out of the backfield.
Been a long, tough day for Lehman Bennett. Right there. Dewey McClain. Appeared the Falcons might have been short one man. McClain started in. And let's see, Robert Pennywell was not in the game. And now he checks in.
Somebody said that maybe Perkins should have started Sims earlier, like the opening game of the season. A couple of the Atlanta coaches, they're saying that they thought Perkins did it right by letting him sit there and watch others struggle for a while before throwing him, you know, so to speak, to the wolves.
There was a lot of pressure on Ray Perkins to do that. And he just kept saying he's not ready yet.
I think we put some of the pressure on him.
Probably did.
We said go ahead and put him in there. You know?
Can't learn if he doesn't play. But as it's turned out, it appears he was right, although who knows? If he'd started from the beginning, they might be 11-0. Dallas, Washington next week, Green Bay, Buffalo, St. Louis, Philadelphia. Detroit at Minnesota, New Orleans, Seattle, and the Giants visit Tampa Bay.
He's some leader. I recall when he first went in the game against New Orleans, the whole team just sort of came right up. High frequency.
They were saying when he was first here, and when they first drafted him, they said Phil who. But now everybody around here knows him. I'll guarantee you that. And you get an answering service at his house. Here come the Falcons blitzing again, and there goes Sims. Ernest Gray found it. Ball popped loose. But the pass is completed.
If you ever get a chance to shake hands with Ernie Gray and see how large the hands are. He's not a tremendously big person physically, but he's got tremendous hands, and they're extremely soft. He's really going to be a great receiver. 4.5 speed for the 40, and that's legitimate.
Tell you what, Phil Sims has a great throwing motion, too. Very compact, no long strides. Wet ball like it's 80 degrees and sunny and no wind. Second goal at the 5. There's Sims looking for more. Stayed a long time, threw it over the head of Johnson, Ken Johnson, 48. And wisely so. They were well covered.
Even when Sims makes a mistake, he tries to keep the mistake in the minor category. Seemed like the great quarterbacks could do that, you know. Anytime I had a guy covered and had a chance for an interception, they threw it up in the stands. Facts of life.
It'll be second and goal at the 5. Just over 4.5 minutes left to play. Giants can put this one in the W column. They'll be 5-6. Draw play to Doug Cutter. Good call. Fulton Kuykendall played it extremely well.
The Falcons are still blitzing even when they're in a short yardage goal line situation. And that'll make all your secondary men come out with gray hair. There is nobody helping here and no time to recover. There's a safety man, Pridemore, who was dogging.
June Jones now loosening up down behind the Falcon bench. He will probably be the quarterback when Atlanta gets the ball again. Coming in a very, very unrewarding and difficult situation. Scales swings in motion. Sims fires out there to him. He made the catch. Went down as a result of contact.
Pridemore, the safety man, dogs again from the secondary, and he hit Sims just as he was releasing. And I don't know how Sims got it off. You be the judge. Watch this. Watch 27. There he comes. It's like he had a gyroscope.
Rollin Lawrence knocked down the wide receiver, Dwight Scales, or he was already down when he made the catch, and Lawrence made the contact. 4th and goal, the ball at the 2.
Sims isn't married, huh?
No.
But he ought to take this group out and let the old boys have some fun. I'll tell you, Benson, Van Horn, Turner, Black, and Neville have really done a job against a wild blitzing bunch from Atlanta.
2-minute warning. Oh, I beg your pardon. Atlanta's calling a timeout. New York is calling a timeout. The Giants. Sims goes over to check. They have 2 left.
Where do you take an offensive lineman bunch out to eat? I guess just to a drive-in or something?
To a fast food restaurant.
On the tappy of your choice sometimes, right?
Here's Phil Sims over talking to Ray Perkins and Bill Austin and Pat Hodgson. 2 guys are responsible for the offense. Atlanta back down in their own end zone. The Giants leading 24-3. For those of you who were just surprised to see us pop up on your screen instead of 60 Minutes, this is the conclusion of the Atlanta Falcons New York Giants football game, which we have been broadcasting to a large portion of the country, so that everybody in the country will have the opportunity to 60 Minutes in its entirety. The start of 60 Minutes is being delayed until the conclusion of this game. In the meantime, we hope you enjoy the last few minutes of this game with us, after which we'll immediately start 60 Minutes. Got that? Check. 4th down. Dakota will not score. The Falcons will take over the football with 2 minutes and 51 seconds left to play. From the ground.
Inside the 5-yard line, where angels fear to tread. 204-pounder from Kentucky. Coder doesn't get it. But the Falcons have a long way to go, and on the scoreboard they're down 24-3. It's been a giant day here in the rain.
Rick Bias made the tackle. Atlanta with some backup. Offensive lineman Phil McKinley. 4-year veteran from UCLA at right tackle. And June Jones, the quarterback. Haskell staying back at Ray Strong in the backfield in their own end zone, and Jones will throw from way back there. Look at pass to Alfred Jenkins out to the 30 and some breathing room. Clock runs with 2:39 left to play. A 29-yard gain. The pass completion from Jones. So while we have a second, while they come back, some final scores from today. Washington 30. St. Louis 28. They won it with 36 seconds left to play.
That was Mosley kicking a field goal, wasn't it?
Right. Tampa Bay came back right at the end after trailing Detroit 14-6. The Bucks won 16-14. Touchdown pass by Doug Williams. Miami.
Hello, defense.
19-zip against the Colts. Buffalo beat the Jets 14-12 as the Jets missed 2 extra points. Martin chases Jones. Pass thrown over the head of Wallace Francis, and the yellow flag is down again.
Nelson came through the letters, and more you're seeing any contact with the receiver is liable to make it look like Flag Day. June Jones back in the pocket, swings both backs, cuts him through the Offensive line, and then out. On the run, Jones delivers it high.
Pass interference, 23. Defense, first down.
Notice McKinney. Pittsburgh really rolling now, aren't they? 30-3 over Kansas City.
They're healthy again.
They got a bunch of players. Houston 31, Oakland 17. That's the final score. Houston came from behind. Never count them out. San Diego comes from behind. 26-24 over Cincinnati. Jones, flag, pass complete. Wallace Francis breaks away, up the tackle. Speeds down to inside the 30. Ray Rhodes, the tackler. But a penalty marker down, back at the line of scrimmage. Jerry Jeter indicating it must be against Atlanta.
Oh, I don't know what the record is for penalties. And I'll be darned if I'm going to try to go through the book and find out. But I'll tell you, Atlanta's had a bunch. They had 12 a few minutes ago. 13 penalties. And, of course, the yardage doesn't really reflect 117 yards, but some of them have been for first downs for New York. It has not been a classic.
Let's see.
Holding on a takedown, number 5-3. Offense, first down.
On Ryzik, the offensive center, that's given Van Note a little breather.
Let's see. Looking up that record for penalties. 22 times penalized is the record. Most penalties in a game, the number is 22. Brooklyn against Green Bay in 1944. You'd figure that, wouldn't you?
Gosh, I forgot Brooklyn used to have a football team. What were they called? The Dodgers.
Yeah. And the most yardage penalized in a game is 209 against Cleveland, against the Bears in 1951. June Jones lofting down the middle. Can't quite reach Wallace Francis.
It's just loaded up for June Jones and try to catch a receiver running straight up the field now. Bartkowski was fairly effective today. 9 for 24 for 94 yards, but he had 2 intercepted, and he was sacked 5 times.
Bob Stinner, the producer, the director, Sandy Grossman. And the rest of our group, as always, we say thank you. You too, Lou. Giants in a half-hearted blitz, and again, Jones has the ball for number 85, Alfred Jackson, and had the ball go right through his arm. That's a good throw.
One went right through the hands. It looks like he has some golf gloves on.
No, I can't forget Tony.
Well, that ball was catchable, you know it? Again, it probably weighs a lot, but that quarterback is back there fighting a blitz. That time Van Pelt blitzed. Ball was thrown about 50 yards around the hands. You got to catch it.
Immediately following football, 60 minutes. The award-winning 60 minutes. A minute and a half just over left to play. Falcon record would be 4-7. And it's 5-6. As Jones, under pressure from Jeter, steps around and throws low. The ball slips out of his hand. Ray Perkins. That's Ralph Hawkins.
I was told that Perkins right there, the head coach, the best play he ever made when he was with Baltimore was a 70-yard touchdown catch after they'd broken his nose in the series before that. And Oakland played Baltimore about 7-8 years ago.
Playoff game?
Yeah, broke his nose. He came back the next series and stayed in the game and went 70-some-odd yards.
You know, they did a pretty good job of straightening it. Looks like it's usable now.
He doesn't smile much. I never get past trying to get him to smile.
Very serious about things.
Good coach.
Never panicked when things were bad. On 4th down, they need 20. Jones fires to the outside, and they might get the 20. They do. Now Alfred Jenkins with a fine maneuver. Gets past the sticks before Beasley Reese.
Martin almost had a chance to make this sack. Watch the left part of your screen. 75 goes around behind and almost grabbed him by the right arm.
Certainly wasn't trying to hurt him, was he?
You tell me what these people are thinking about.
I don't know. It must be fans. I mean, real, dedicated fans. The other game that was in progress is over, and Denver has swarmed all over New England, 45-10. Rob Lytle.
False start. Moving before the snap, 73. Offense.
There's some people that are just sitting here enjoying the drizzle. Look like couples even, that people seem to know each other. They're under those parkas.
Well, that helps if you know each other.
I guess.
Here's June Jones now with 49 seconds to play. George Martin takes him down. Takes him down rather gently.
Jones came in a year ago and did a good job. Beat the Jets, almost beat the Jets in a game earlier this year when that lightning thing called the game off.
Yep.
Came in, beating the Denver Broncos. He's having his problems right now with the Giants.
June Jones in the hands of Phil Tabor. Clock still running with just over 30 seconds left to play. The Giants 24, Atlanta 3. And the work is cut out for the Falcons. The Giants visit Tampa next week. But the Falcons do have a schedule that sort of controls their own destiny. They play the people that they're trying to beat. Jackson has the interception. He scored one touchdown already after he picked up a blocked punt. Flag is down. Billy Rickman, the intended receiver.
Here's the throw. Jackson, of course, all of the Giants secondary now getting doubles up front, doubles deep. Came through the receiver. Rickman stole the ball, and the flag was dropped almost on the two of them.
That's a difficult call, too.
It is when you get the ball on the other side.
Pass interference, number 24. Defense, first down.
First down, Atlanta, with 11 seconds left to play.
Another popular decision here in the Meadowlands.
Only a field goal. That's all they had. And here comes George Martin again. Wrapping up June Jones, and that should just about do it. George Martin, who was the leading sacker for the Giants going in with 5 1/2.
Got 3 last week against Dallas and 2 today, huh?
George playing well. Atlanta quarterbacks have been sacked now 7 times. They have been Bartkowski and number 14, June Jones. Here we go, last play. It is over. And June Jones fires the ball to the referee. So that's the final score. New York 24.